Good day, everyone. Scooter coming to you live from the Granville Guitars World Headquarters here in lovely St. Petersburg, Florida. Today is December the 18th. It's a Friday. It's my final day in the shop before I start my Christmas vacation next week. And I'm going to do something I've been wanting to do here for a bit. Recently, a customer of mine wanted me to build him an exact copy of my Granville AMD74. Matter of fact, he wanted to buy my 74, but I like my 74. So essentially what it is my take with some changes and modifications on the 1974 model Marshall, 18 watt, 20 watt if you use a solid state plug-in. My amplifier is the one on the bottom here, and it has the yellow light on the front. Let's get in there closer where you can see it. Now you'll notice that in the process of developing this amplifier, I started out with the traditional placement for bass, treble, master, all that sort of jazz. Well, I decided on these chicken head knobs because you can see from across the room where you're set. But the problem there is that you can't see the designator underneath the volume, tone, etc. unless that chicken head is at a certain angle. Not always convenient. So on the one that I built for my customer, we moved that, and all successive ones of these that I build will have the designators over the top. That way, no matter where the knobs are positioned, you'll be able to see what's going on. Other than that, and his pilot light is red, this is as close to a clone of my amplifier as I could possibly make it. I went really deep into measuring resistors and measuring capacitors, and in a couple of cases I went through about 20 100K resistors trying to get the ones that measured exactly the same as mine. He wanted a direct clone as much as I could make it. Now, that amplifier and his amplifier were constructed with classic tone transformers, fine transformers, very fine transformers. Unfortunately, they have recently succumbed to the economic chaos that we're all living through right now, and classic tone is no more. I've been wanting to put MercuryMagnetics transformers in these for a while, in one of these for a while anyway. So essentially where I'm going here is my amplifier has now been outfitted with MercuryMagnetics transformers, both output and power. And it is exactly the same, as close as I can make it in every way, to the clone amp that I constructed. So what we have here are two amplifiers that are as closely dialed into each other as possible, with the exception of the transformers. I wanted to really prove to myself that the Mercurys are different, and different enough to justify what is admittedly, an upcharge. They cost more, but better materials, better workmanship, all that sort of stuff costs a little more. And again, that's not to say that classic tones are bad, because they're not. The amp sounded great. It sounded absolutely great before. But the Mercurys are just a few percentages better, and I think you'll be able to hear it when I play through it here. Now, you'll notice this box sitting on top of the clone right there. And what that box is, if it'll focus here and give me some light on it, I hope it's lit well enough. That is a Metropolis Headmaster Mark II. That is a box that will safely and instantaneously switch two tube amplifier heads between the same cabinet load. So we've eliminated the necessity of going back and forth, and repatching. I previously did a video of two Jet City 20 heads that I had done the same thing as this. One had stock transformers, the other one had the MercuryMagnetics transformers, but I had to repatch every time, and it, hearing being the worst of your sense memories, that sort of made it hard. Well, this little device here makes it very easy. You hit a foot switch, bang, instantaneous switching between two heads into one cabinet. And that gives you the opportunity to really listen to the differences in real time very quickly. Now, as we zoom into the box, you'll notice there's an A light and a B light. The B light is green. You hit the attached foot switch. The A light is red. Okay? For the purposes of our demonstration, I am not going to put a microphone up for me to talk through. I'm just going to play. I want you all to listen closely to the differences and pay attention to that red and green light. They will tell you immediately which amplifier is being played. The A, red one, is the clone with classic tone transformers. And the B, the green light, is the MercuryMagnetics transformers in my own personal amplifier. Other than the transformers and the pilot lights, these two amplifiers are as similar as I could make them. I know I said that before, but I went to great lengths. I really did, making sure all the wires were the same lengths, all of my wire runs were done the same way, ground points in the same places, tubes as closely matched to one another as possible. That was an ordeal. That was an all-day ordeal, getting the tube sets to be really close to each other, because I wanted this to be a fair test. I wanted it to be as evenly matched as I possibly could make it. So, once again, red A is the clone, which is on top, and green B will be my amp, which is on the bottom here. And hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about here. Now, as for the cabinet, this is my Granville 212 in matching red. It has, on that left side that's mic'd up, that is a Celestion greenback, 30 watt. And on the other side, on the right side, there's a Celestion CX, which is, as I understand it, it's also a 30 watt speaker. As I understand it, it's a ceramic version of a greenback. So it's a little brighter and it's a little crunchier, handles the wattage just a little better. They're two, slightly different flavors of the same sort of voicing. And this cabinet sounds really good with this head, so that's why we're doing this. You'll hear both amplifiers through that cabinet. That's really all the description. Like I said, I'm not even going to set up a microphone to talk through. Just the mic on the amp, and I'm going to leave my talkback mic turned up in the room so you can hear what it sounds like in the room as well, and hopefully get a nice big sound going. And I'm not going to talk. I want you to listen to the differences in tone and hopefully forgive my less than expert playing. I do what I can. And, I have made records and I have played a lot as part of my career, but sometimes I feel like my skills as a guitarist are woefully inadequate. At any rate, you'll get the idea. And the idea is to hear differences between the two amplifiers. As far as the settings on the two amps, I'm going into the simpler of the two channels, which is the one on the right. That channel is voiced more like a Vox with a fairly crazy tone control going on. The tone control is voiced in such a way that it works like a regular passive tone control through quite a bit of its travel. And once you get it up about 2/3, it doesn't increase treble, but it rolls off bass. So when it's turned all the way up, it makes your 212 cabinet sounds like a 110, which is kind of neat. It's kind of fun to get a little different texture and tonality out of it. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm not going to show off any of those features. I'm not going to play with the knobs. I got the volumes all the way up. I'm only going to mess with the guitar. I'm going to do all volume and tonal changes right off the guitar so that, you know, everything is even. I've matched the two volume controls as closely as I possibly can, and you know, we're gonna see if you can hear what I can definitely hear, and that is it better? I think it is, frankly. It's certainly different. Your results may vary, but listen closely, and you know, leave your comments and let me know what you think. Do you think it's all hooey? Well, you know, that we're talking about something very subjective, and that is good guitar tone. So, you know, some of us are going to think it's hogwash and not hear a difference that's worth the extra money. And others of us, like myself, are going to hear such a significant difference that we definitely want to go for it. It's really kind of a feel thing, too. You're going to notice a more lively sound, in my opinion, but I don't want to poison it too much with too much verbiage here. So here we go. Let's hear what these boys sound like. Well, it occurs to me that there's a couple other things I may want to chat about here with you guys before we plug in here. This is a diagram of how the Metropolis head switcher actually works. And it's quite an ingenious device. Now, there are other devices out there in the market that will do head switching into one cabinet. I've used a few. They're okay devices. I think that George Metropolis's head switcher is the best device for this. It's the easiest to use, I think. I think it has the best tone. It works with a wide variety of amplifiers. It's just real easy to use. It's a lot of the reason to use it. And it's the right tool for the job. The way it handles the job is the right way to do it, in my opinion. So, as usual, I'm ill-prepared for the task here. Anyway, you have your two amps, amp A and amp B. And this is a single speaker load. Now, you can run two cabinets, but it does not switch between these two cabinets. These two cabinets would be live all the time. You use two cabinets or one, it doesn't matter. Okay, so up here, we have amp A. All right. You run a cable from the input where you would plug your guitar in of amp A over here to that input down there. And this is on the rear panel. See if I can get it to focus. It'd be lovely if it would focus. Right here, guitar output. So that goes to the input. And as you can see, it also has one for amp B. Okay. Right next to that is a ground switch, which is very useful in case you have any kind of a ground conflict between the two amplifiers and you need to adjust that. Okay, then, so you have the two inputs taken care of. So it switches your guitar between the two inputs. Well, it has to switch between the two outputs as well. Same thing. Speaker cable on the back goes here to amp A and here for amp B. Couldn't be simpler. 4 connections. Input jacks, speaker jacks. Then you run a cable to the speaker you're going to use. Usually one, but you can run 2 at once right from here. Okay? According to George, this device is impedance atheistic. What that means is it does not care what load these cabinets are. They can be any load you want them to be. It will match them automatically. You plug the guitar. This is the front panel of the device. You plug the guitar in here, and your foot switch, which comes with it, plugs in over here, just like so. And it's just a great device. I love it. I'm across the hall from Eric Rutan, Man of Recording. He also has one. He loves it as well. He's been using it in the studio. And as you can imagine, it's a great studio tool because it allows you to immediately select between 2 amplifiers to the same speaker cabinet and really compare the two as to which one is the more suitable one to use, and in real time, immediately. And safely, that's the thing. It holds that amp that's not creating sound, whichever amp that might be. It holds it safely. It gives it the proper load, and everything is done very safely and very efficiently. Again, seek this out, Metropolis head switcher. Wonderful device. You should get one if this is a tool that suits your needs in this area. All right. So that's all for the Metropolis head switcher. I would like to say a few things because I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to set up a microphone. Today I'm going to be using the Granville Lucy guitar, which is a Telecaster style guitar. Maple neck, rosewood fretboard, ash body with a flame maple top. DiMarzio pickups. It's got a DiMarzio Area T neck and an Area T615 in the bridge. So they are hum canceling, but they have the real telly tone. Nothing else. 3-way switch, volume, tone, and I'm going to be doing everything off the guitar so you can really hear what the amps do. All right, enough of my yakking. Let's boogie. All right. Well, hopefully you're getting what I'm getting on here, and that's they both sound really good, and they're both fun to play, and very versatile and flexible and toneful. Let's get up here where maybe you can see my face. How about that? Dag nabbit. They're both really good. The Mercury's got just that much more. To me, it's like It's the difference between a hamburger and a bacon cheeseburger. There's that much more richness and liveliness and texture, and it is just that much more fun. And isn't fun the best thing to have? I think so. Anyway, that's all I got time for here today. I'm failing at this camera thing. I'm sorry about that. I usually don't do it this way. There we go. If you got any comments, please leave them in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you. That's about all I know here for today. If you got any questions or anything you want to know about what we do here at Granville Guitars, seek us out on the web at www.granvilleguitars.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. And also over on the blog, over at WordPress, A View from the Granville Bench. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy New Year. Be good to one another.